Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. Bitcoin at $250,000 in the year 2023. That's just around the corner. It's already almost June, so about a half a year away. This proponent might make you a BTC maxi. So you guys think that after I read you this, you will become BTC maxis? Probably not. But you know, the sentiment here, I think, just speaks to the bullish market that we are going to be coming up to. I know we've been seeing a bit of a downturn. However, guys, I don't think this is going to be as long-lived as former bear markets. So both Bitcoin and Ethereum have been struggling to keep afloat in recent months, but we have prominent investors here making ambitious predictions on how their precious cryptos will turn out in the future. First, we have Real Vision CEO Raoul Pal. He recently appeared in a Crypto Banter podcast where he said that Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin. And here's a quote from Raoul Pal. He says, if you think Bitcoin exchanges more value each week than Ethereum does, Ethereum has a lot of transactions. Transactions are a red herring. It's total value in number of active wallets, and Bitcoin beats both. However, if you look at Ethereum, the changes in value, the rates of change in those two values in Ethereum is higher, which is why Ethereum's been outperforming Bitcoin over the last couple of years, and I found it's really useful. It shows what price is, and price is pretty good. Pal then reiterated that he is more bullish on altcoins as compared to the safe haven. Now, that just goes with the percentage rise for altcoins in comparison to Bitcoin. We've done mathematical exercises on this channel before, and obviously, you know, if you can get 13, 14, 15x on a coin, that's obviously better than 2 or 3x. So that is, so Pal here, Raoul Pal, he's saying he's bullish on alts specifically, but he does he does point to Ethereum here in this quote. Nevertheless, he says, if you believe the future is in the technology, in blockchain technology, then this whole digital asset space should outperform the safe haven. That's just how things work. It's always worked that way. Therefore, there's a higher beta. Meanwhile, Tim Draper has claimed that Bitcoin will reach 250,000 in early 2023. So he's putting a time frame on that, and guys, that's less than 12 months away. He said this in an interview with well-known crypto trader Scott Melker. This is a particularly shocking claim after Bitcoin's own recent struggles. The flagship cryptocurrency might end its 9th consecutive week of losses. And guys, if I take you to the Bitcoin chart today, look at that pop. We have seen a bit of a pop for Bitcoin here. Let me throw that on the hourly to just demonstrate that a little better for you guys. We've been consolidating down here. We've just been trading sideways over the last couple of weeks now. And then finally, we eventually broke through this high. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at about $30,500. But I wouldn't get too excited too quickly. Let's throw this back on the daily, and I'm just going to show you guys a time in the past where we were doing something similar on the Bitcoin chart. This moved down. Actually, let me get rid of that. This moved down here, trading sideways for a bit of a move up, maybe a psych out move, and then Bitcoin actually moved lower, double bounced before the real rally to the upside. So could it be that we are in this psych out pattern for Bitcoin also? Like I said, we could come up, come down lower, reaccumulate, which could come in the form of that double bounce that we saw back in here, and then move to the upside in the fall. And I mean, if Tim Draper is correct, that's when we would see a $250,000 Bitcoin, either quarter one or quarter two of 2023. And just to Raoul Pal's point here, he created this extremely long thread, the macro outlook of markets in general. I will link this in the description if you guys are interested. I just really wanted to focus on this last slide here. He says, same applies to crypto, which has been constrained by the macro. I am a significant buyer into any further weakness. These chances don't come often, and they are life-changing. The 60-month exponential moving average comes in at 22,500. So that is the zone he is looking for Bitcoin. That would bring Bitcoin actually down in and around here. So he's actually assuming that Bitcoin is going to go much lower. Much lower. So my prediction, you know, a $24,000, $25,000 Bitcoin, I think is a good entry point. And, you know, depending on when that happens for Bitcoin, we would obviously see alts dump as well. Considering we are not in alt season, we are going to see alts continue on with Bitcoin. By the way, XRP trading right now just shy of 40 cents. So we did see a bit of a bounce for XRP too. But as I was saying, you know, if we do see Bitcoin go down, I think we will see other altcoins go down. And perhaps create the same pattern, that double bounce before we move again to the upside. So I'm waiting for this time, and I think that this is going to happen in the summer. That's just what I'm noticing here. Again, guys, not financial advice. Michael at Val5 Links, also, though, bringing this to our attention because El Salvador, bullish on Bitcoin. So, of course, Nayib Bukele has added 500 additional units of Bitcoin to his nation's balance sheet. And he has continuously been buying more and more Bitcoin when we have seen market dips. El Salvador has experienced a massive loss in its Bitcoin holdings, with the price of the world's #1 digital currency by market cap now trading in the low 30,000 range. Nevertheless, with crypto falling to new lows in recent weeks, it looks like the sentiment has changed from one of fear to one of excitement about potentially growing portfolios. Bukele is taking the latter version and has now added 500 additional units of Bitcoin to his nation's balance sheet. Risky, some may say, but the president has clearly made it known to all how he feels about Bitcoin and how much he admires it. So he is still adding to the country's balance sheet. Of course, El Salvador just bought the dip. Nayib Bukele generally tends to update his Twitter profile when that happens. So, something to keep our eyes on. Of course, guys, this is going to be a temporary measure. And it's funny because I've been now through... This will be my second bear market, and I don't even feel like it has been really a bear market. I feel like, in a lot of ways, this is par for the course of crypto. Maybe I've just been in it for way too long now. I endured this whole thing back from the beginning of 2018 throughout 2019 and even into the beginning of 2020. Then we had that beer flu dip. Oh man, that was just a killer before we made our way to the upside. So this in here, although it is a little rough, I mean, I'm living through it. I hope you guys are as well. Kenwood Capital here on Twitter pointing this out. Now, guys, this is Charles Hoskinson. He points out that the network activity for Cardano is second only to Bitcoin. So, I don't know if you guys remember from back in this article, although Raoul Pal was saying that Ethereum was number 2, actually, it looks as though it's Cardano. On Sunday, which was just yesterday, Charles Hoskinson, co-founder and CEO of Input Output Global, the company responsible for Cardano's research and development, took a closer look at 24-hour transaction volumes across major blockchains. Hoskinson sent out that seemed to show that, based on data by Messari, 24-hour transaction volume for Cardano was $9.57 billion, which means that it was only second to that of Bitcoin and higher than that of Ethereum, actually. So here's the tweet just demonstrating that. At the time of writing, which was earlier today, the 24-hour transaction volume for Bitcoin, Cardano, and Ethereum are about 10.32 billion, 9.24 billion, and 2.52 billion, respectively. This must have been a sweet moment for Hoskinson, who must be very tired of some Cardano critics who have at various times unkindly and incorrectly called it a ghost chain. The following tweet is just one of the latest examples. So here's just a tweet critical of the Cardano blockchain. Nevertheless, we are seeing activity on that blockchain. And guys, we're still early days. These are some of the coins that are going to blow people's minds. One day, we're going to see massive activity on some of these chains. Cardano obviously being one of those World Economic Forum chosen cryptocurrencies, at least highlighted in their June 2021 report. So, these are the coins, real world value. Right now, they are at discount prices. If I bring up ADA right now, you can see ADA, and it always goes, it defaults to the Coinbase exchange. I like to put it on the Binance exchange because we just have more information here. Cardano, from its high, it was down. It did go down as low as 88%, so right back down to about 38 cents per coin. Now it's hovering in and around 53 cents. So I even think Cardano a very, very good buying opportunity. We could actually see it go back down, again, if we are going to see these Bitcoin prices fall even lower. We could see Cardano come back down in this area of support. And, again, maybe picking some up at 40 cents could be a good investment. Also saw this, guys, from Mike Manfield here on Twitter. So this has to do with Ripple partner Kexa Bank. They're making moves for their high net worth clients. This coming from Finextra. Kexa Bank has established Open Wealth, a new independent and global advisory service for the bank's UHNW customers. As a subsidiary fully owned by the Kexa Bank Group, Open Wealth will provide this service to customers with assets amounting to over 50 million euros. These are extremely wealthy clients. Open Wealth will provide a multi-family office offering customers with large asset holdings, selecting the best service providers for each need, and then conducting an in-depth analysis and due diligence on all the options available on the market. All this will be carried out under a model of complete independence and explicitly charging for the service. The new company will provide its customers an in-depth knowledge of the market as well as possible, or rather the possibility of benefiting from the group's partnerships. This will allow for the best personalized solutions and collaboration with various private banks and asset managers without giving priority to any entity, as the CaixaBank Group will act as just another financial service provider. And so, with interoperability, obviously, running on RippleNet, a partner of Ripple, this particular bank will be able to provide their clients with the best possible solution for their needs. And, when you're dealing with these multi-million-dollar type clients, they're going to want to be able to conduct any type of transaction that they want anywhere in the world. So what are banks like this to do? Well, they are going to have to make it available and convenient for these multi-million-dollar clients, obviously, if they want to retain their business. And leveraging RippleNet, obviously, is going to help them with that. So interesting news there from Mike Manfield. Wanted to thank him for posting that. Also saw this, guys, with regards to Ripple partner Bank of America. Now, for those of you guys who do not remember this, way back or before 2020, there were murmurings that there was a partnership between Ripple and an American bank. And at that time, we didn't really know because, there was no crypto. We were so far from crypto clarity, and we were hearing about all these other partnerships around the world that Ripple were forging. And but we were wondering, in the U.S., where are the partnerships? And then finally, it wasn't until the end of 2020 that Ripple names Bank of America as a key member of its global payments network. So again, this was back in late 2020, but now there was a recent interview done with Yahoo Finance with the Bank of America CEO, Brian T. Moynihan. He stressed that the banking giant was in no rush to dip its toes into cryptocurrency. So although they are Ripple enabled and although they are utilizing crypto for payments, the Bank of America CEO did differentiate the two in these in this interview. He said, "We are not missing on anything. We are driving payments, though, through the roof." While recognizing cross-border payments as a legitimate use case for cryptocurrencies, Moynihan said that the stringent regulation prevents it from engaging with the nascent asset class. Bank of America is limited to researching cryptocurrencies on the trading side, but it cannot go as far as managing customers' accounts with digital assets. Well, we're starting to see that change with companies like JP Morgan and I think Goldman Sachs as well. So I think it'll only be a matter of time. Here's a quote. They've said, "You have to ask us before you do it. And by the way, don't ask." It was basically the tone Moynihan commented on regulatory scrutiny. So, of course, there's also the regulatory clarity that's going on right now with the SEC. So the reality is that we run a payments business across our platform. It was trillions of dollars a day, and almost all of it is digital. Bank of America running on RippleNet. So we know what he's talking about there. However, trading digital assets and that regulatory process doesn't sound like they are there yet. Anyway, interesting news. Interesting that he is differentiating the two. And of course, in this climate, it does make sense. We have bearish sentiment now in the trading market, but regulatory clarity on the doorstep. The Ripple SEC lawsuit obviously going to play a big part in this. So wanted to thank BondCrypt XRP for pointing that out. And speaking of the Ripple SEC lawsuit, is it just really a bump in the road? Well, Ashish Birla, he just recently did an interview, a fireside chat with Kathy Chu here. Listen to what he had to say.
What I wanted to ask you is, how is the uncertainty of that case weighing on the company as well as on RippleNet, the technology platform that you manage?
So I mean, it's a good question. I think, number one, I think the entire industry, is looking at this case. So the entire crypto industry is looking at this case to set precedent. So I think it's not important just for Ripple. I think it's important for the entire crypto industry. And in terms of how it's impacted us, I mean, we are coming off of record growth in our business, and in RippleNet, the division that I run, which provides enterprise crypto solutions for financial institutions and corporates, is doing really well. I mean, we've had a banner year. We're doing a run rate of over $15 billion for our payments business alone. So I think that in terms of how it's affected us, I mean, we're resilient as a company. We've been doing this a long time, and these little bumps in the road, aren't going to deter us from our goal. And again, I'm just really happy that the team, our customers, they're seeing a lot of value in what we're building, so much so that they are double downing on our product and continuing to help us grow as a company, which I think also helps the industry as a whole as well.
Double downing on our doubling down, Ashish. It's called doubling down. But note what he said. I know, I'm just poking. Note what he said, though, about the bump in the road. It's just a bump in the road. Ripple is a resilient company, and they are going to get through this. I mean, there's so much other business that Ripple has around the world that it's not even really affecting their American business. And so, maybe this is why the SEC kind of feels like they're being pushed in a corner at this point in time. Ripple has the resources, they have the money, they have the lawyers, they have top lawyers, some formerly working at the SEC. So they have a professional arsenal at their disposal, and they are fighting the SEC tooth and nail. Just a bump in the road. I also saw this guy's from Kenwood Capital. Ripple has higher goals than just replacing SWIFT. So this information is coming out of that same Ashish Birla interview. Alternatives like Ripple are increasingly being touted alongside incumbent market players like SWIFT. Ripple, on the other hand, claims to have bigger ambitions than SWIFT's replacement. So Ashish addressed that, bigger ambitions than just replacing SWIFT. Apparently so. If you guys remember, back to 2018, replacing SWIFT was kind of the pinnacle for the XRP community. Boy, if all the money can go through Ripple's XRP, well, think of what the value of XRP will be. $589, no problem. But as the world has changed and as crypto has matured, Ripple is obviously seeing new opportunities. SWIFT is obviously just one part of that, and even just the technicals behind SWIFT. SWIFT has tried to keep up, I think, with RippleNet because they were realizing that many of the banks that they do business with are now looking for newer, more convenient options. So, some of these banks are moving on to RippleNet, maybe not using SWIFT as much. They could be integrated with both of them, but maybe now they're realizing, okay, because of the crypto clarity in other parts of the world, these customers that we used to have are now running on Ripple. They're deciding to go with a more modern technology. But what is this thing that Ashish Birla is talking about when it comes to bigger ambitions than just replacing SWIFT?
You mentioned it's 3 to 5 seconds for the transfer, and the costs are very low. How does the cost compare to other cryptocurrency transfers like Bitcoin?
Well, Bitcoin, the way that Bitcoin and Ethereum work is that it's sort of like dynamic pricing. So, it's a little similar to like how Uber works. This morning it costed me $15, but when the Warriors game was going on a couple of days ago, it was $40 to get home. So, it's similar to that on the Bitcoin network and the Ethereum network when there's a lot of traffic. So, maybe there's a hot NFT on Ethereum, the gas prices dynamically go up. So our customers didn't want that. If I need to send money home, I can't decide that, whoa, today's not a good time because there's a Bored Ape taking off on Ethereum. They need to send it every Friday right when they get a paycheck. So that consistency and reliability is really important to them. And again, having to spend $40, $20, maybe $5 if there's a low demand day, that's not the kind of reliability our customers told us they wanted. And so again, with the XRP ledger, it made sense to use it as a settlement solution because you can rely on the fees being very, very low.
So the fees obviously have to be predictable. You can't have, people not be able to send their remittances to family members across borders. It can't be like Uber surge pricing, as Ashish Birla points out. Let me just continue with this clip here.
Okay, that's very helpful, Ashish. Now, I was thinking about this and thinking, is the aim of RippleNet and other competing platforms, is the aim to eventually replace SWIFT? I don't know if you saw the MasterCard CEO's comments at the World Economic Forum. I think they were asked, the panel was asked whether SWIFT would still be here in 5 years. Everyone said yes, and the MasterCard CEO said he did not think SWIFT will be here in 5 years. So I was thinking of that when I was writing these questions for you and thinking, is the aim to replace SWIFT?
Well, I think we have bigger ambitions than replacing SWIFT. So remember, to move money internationally, there's two components. There's the messaging component, but then you actually have to move the funds. That's not what SWIFT does. SWIFT only does the messaging. So they help banks communicate with each other around the world, but the settlement is done out of band. The great thing, I think, what's really, really innovative about crypto and RippleNet is that we do both. We've modernized both. So using Swift for messaging is like WhatsApping using a fax machine today. So we modernized that using APIs. It's real time. But then we also do the settlement. There's not another solution out there that does both instantly like RippleNet. And so, our solution is now, a lot bigger than what Swift does. I think Swift is going to be around for 5 years. It takes a long time to change like the entire banking system. I mean, upgrading the mainframe at BNY Mellon is probably a couple $100 million to do to modernize that so that they can move off of Swift. So I think Swift is here to stay. I think the most innovative companies today are going to move off of Swift, and they're going to use modern technologies like crypto and what we're building at RippleNet. And that's really what's helping us grow. There is really no other alternative to Swift that's comprehensive and does more than the one that we built on top of crypto. So I'm excited about what's ahead for us.
So there you have it. No other solution built on top of crypto, as Ashish Birla points out, that can go up against Swift. So ultimately what he's saying is RippleNet, the only competitor, and it is a better mousetrap than the Swift system, and it's only going to be a matter of time before, all those banking clients merge over. He says, they're going to start with, obviously, the more innovative companies. Those are the ones that see, perhaps the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think that's the right analogy, but, they see the future. This is how Ripple is going to grow. I mean, they're already growing. We have seen that slow increase, that incline from, foreign countries, foreign banks. Eventually, we are going to see meaningful adoption, though, in the United States. And as you heard earlier in this interview, the Ripple SEC lawsuit, even Ashish Birla is saying it, the entire crypto market is watching that particular case to see where crypto regulations go next. The XRP ledger was created for a specific purpose, and I believe even Ashish Birla did mention it in that interview. It was created for payments. However, developers now from around the world are continuing to develop on the XRPL for a multitude of other reasons, going to drive XRP value up with more utility, guys. So payments is just the beginning, and the lawsuit, obviously, just a bump in the road. That's Ashish Birla's opinion and my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think, though. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.